The fluorescent lights of the 14th floor buzz with the irritating frequency of a trapped mosquito. You exist in an unnatural, microscopic ecosystem of cubicles and screens, the architecture slowly closing in around you. It is late on a Friday afternoon. You're staring down exactly 12,400 rows of spreadsheet data. Your coffee went cold hours ago, tasting vaguely of paper and defeat, and your shoulders are hunched forward in a posture that historians might one day classify as the modern corporate shrimp. Society presents this state of constant output as the pinnacle of human evolution. We have been trained to believe that answering one last email or optimizing a paradigm to please a manager will finally deliver a life of meaning. Modern conditioning frames human existence through the rigid metrics of economic production. A life's worth is weighed and measured through a microscopic, deeply stressful version of gross domestic product. But you are not building an empire. You are frantically paddling a tiny plastic boat in a digital ocean of absolute nonsense. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Far across the world, tucked away in the majestic peaks of the Himalayas, there is an entirely different way of living. In the Kingdom of Bhutan, the government explicitly rejects the idea that a society's value comes solely from its factories and financial ledgers. Progress is not tied to cold economic production. The metric of gross national happiness asserts that true prosperity requires material wealth to be perfectly balanced with spiritual and emotional well-being. It tracks whether citizens are getting enough sleep, whether they have time for leisure, and whether their minds are at peace. Compare that to the screen on your desk. Your personal gross national happiness is currently in a severe recession. Your time use is 14-hour days, and your well-being is held hostage by a notification bell. Ultimately, the metrics a society chooses to track will inevitably dictate the daily reality and the specific suffering of its people. Suddenly, a chat bubble pops up. It is Dave. He needs the quarterly report printed and bound before the 5 o'clock strategy meeting. The meeting is about finding ways to increase productivity. Destroying your peace to sit in a room and discuss efficiency is a suffocating irony. You stand up, your joints popping like ancient floorboards, and approach the communal office printer. It stands there like a massive gray monolith, a hungry, unforgiving deity of the modern era. You press print. The machine whirs, clicks, grinds, and flashes a bright, aggressive red light. Paper jam in tray 2. You open tray 2. There is no paper jam. You close it. The machine hums thoughtfully, then flashes again. Toner low. You open the side panel, get black dust on your pristine shirt, and pull out a crumpled, accordion-shaped piece of paper that looks chewed by a mechanical goat. Your heart rate begins spiking. You can feel the heat rising in your neck, your muscles tensing as you prepare to engage in physical combat with a piece of office equipment. You are standing there with blackened fingers, letting a plastic box dictate your emotional state. Thousands of years ago, great ascetic sages dedicated their entire lives to understanding the profound nature of the universe. They meditated on impermanence. They understood that mountains crumble, rivers dry up, and empires inevitably fall into dust. Their central teaching was that the root of all human suffering is our desperate clinging to illusions. Imagine a serene, enlightened monk sitting quietly beneath these ancient branches, suddenly leaping up in a panic because he forgot to CC his manager on a scroll. The thought is so ridiculous that something inside you breaks. You look at the blinking red light of the printer, and instead of screaming, you start to laugh. It bubbles up from your chest, genuine, unrestrained, deeply healing laughter. The modern stressor loses its power the moment you recognize its place in a wider, older timeline. Dave pokes his head out of his office, looking confused. His brow is furrowed with the manufactured weight of corporate urgency, asking if the report is coming. You look at his perfectly ironed tie and worried eyes. You realize Dave is not an enemy. He is just another tired human being trapped in the same absurd play, taking it far too seriously. The spreadsheet is gone, and the office is merely a tiny point on a rock floating through infinite space. You tell Dave you are going home. You do not wait for a response. You walk back to your desk, pick up your coat, leave the cold coffee exactly where it is, and step out into the warm evening air. The ability to recognize an illusion and simply walk away is a more profound form of power than anything found in a boardroom. You decide in that very moment to adopt your own gross national happiness index as a new way to live. You commit to fiercely protecting your sleep. You vow to nurture community vitality by actually seeing your friends, rather than texting them apologies for being too busy. What about you? What artificial emergencies are currently holding your mind hostage? What broken printers are you fighting today, believing your entire worth depends on fixing them? Perhaps it is time to step back, look at the heavy burdens you carry, and allow yourself to laugh. Choosing unshakable peace is the ultimate gentle rebellion against the frantic dance of the modern world.